G'day folks and welcome to the Encounters Down Under podcast. I'm your host Anthony Goodall and I invite guests to the show to share their amazing encounters with aliens and UFOs. If you or someone you know has had an encounter down under or anywhere in the world for our new segment Encounters Unbound, please get in touch with me via the Encounters Down Under Facebook page or email at australianUFOsightings@outlook.com.au. Be sure to join the Encounters Down Under Facebook page and YouTube channel where you can also get involved during the live stream interviews, sharing your thoughts and opinions during the live show. Also, if you enjoyed the podcast, don't forget to give us a rating and review on your favourite listening platform. But anyway, that's enough from me. Let's get into what you've been waiting for. Kick back and relax with your favourite beverage and enjoy the show. G'day folks and welcome to Season 4 of the podcast. Firstly, I'd like to give a big thank you to all my amazing guests on the show for Season 3 and a big thank you to all my listeners. I hope you have been enjoying the content so far. To help break in the new season, I figured it was about time to talk about me, your host of the Encounters Down Under podcast, and give the listeners a little insight to who I am, what I do, and my role in the UFO community. Also, just a reminder that everything I say is of my own opinion and I take everything from a critical, logical analysis. I'm not here to discredit anyone's experiences, but I am here to try to give people the credibility they deserve when sharing their encounters by trying to rule out misidentifications and giving more credibility to the sighting. So I hope I don't upset too many people, to say the least, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Right, g'day guys, hope everyone's doing well. That didn't go to plan. I hope you guys can all hear me pretty well. I can't hear myself for some reason. Whoa, there we go. Okay, I'm working. Look at that. Jesus, we got to go. Unfortunately, the warm-up intro thing I didn't really work too well, so I hope everyone's doing well anyway. Yeah, look, it's been a while since I had a bit of a hiccup, so I hope you guys can hear me through on YouTube, all the bloody Facebook there's and what's going on and whatnots, and yep, good, all right, getting feedback here, thanks. Oh, that's awesome, great. So look, guys, tonight I'm just going to go and talk crap and talk a bit about myself here and there, and basically, yeah, wherever this goes tonight. But I'm also giving the opportunity for you guys there to go and join me tonight, so I'm going to be throwing this link in the into the comments here. So if you guys want to join me for this little live chat here, by all means, come and join in there. It's going to be going through StreamYard, so I'll throw that there, and everyone should be seeing that link there in the comments section there. If you guys want to join me for a chat on here at the moment, doing a bit of a test here for a live talk back sort of stream, I suppose. But first off, I'm going to sort of talk crap about myself there and give you a bit of an insight of like who I am, what I do, and what I do in the UFO community sort of things. I wouldn't consider myself too much of a big researcher on the whole topic, but I take a bit of a part into it, a bit of interest and whatnot. So anyway, for those who don't know who I am, I'm Anthony Goodall. I have grown up a little bit in the UFO topic there, had a bit of interest in the whole alien and UFO agenda. And whilst there was nothing major as a kid, we sort of had a bit of a curiosity of what's out there in the stars. Like you go there at night time there, see the hundreds of stars in the sky over night time, you just wonder what's out there. It's just, that mind of curiosity. And so yeah, it sort of planted a little bit of a seed there. And then it wasn't until my old man had an experience there. You can also check out the previous podcast. I think it was season 1 there. I had the old man on there and talking about his experience there. So he had an encounter there in regards to seeing a UFO going from one star to another star and using it as a bit of a checkpoint. And basically he came in rushing in and going, oh yeah, just seen a UFO, and that sort of scared the crap out of me a little bit. And because I'm thinking, well, we're getting invaded by aliens here, and that's the whole topic of aliens sort of really scared me. And so, but anyway, over time, that sort of got the interest there. Obviously the old man saying something, so it's like, well, something is actually really out there, So it's like, well, what's going on? And it wasn't until a bit later on in my later years there, probably maybe we're going about 7 years ago now, maybe. No, it would be longer than that. Jeez. 8 years ago. I think it was about 2015, 2016, where I actually had my first real proper experience of something that was unknown that I couldn't really identify. Now, this is probably about 11 o'clock at night time. It was probably January, I think January, December. I can't quite remember the dates exactly, but I know I was at night shifts because I work in the mines. I was operating the trucks at the time and cruising on the top of the ramp there because I was loaded. So the things cruise up about 10 Ks going up the ramp. So they're pretty slow. So you'd be chugging along, going up the ramps, and you're like sort of looking around, you're sort of licking windows and whatnot. And anyway, I see this two orange orbs, one sort of side by side, sort of like in a bit of formation, one in front of the other, and one a little bit behind it. So it's sort of following the formation. Now they didn't do anything spectacular, nothing fantastic in that nature. All they did was going from a northwest to a southeast direction. So from the northwest or the westerly direction, heading southeast, somewhere in that sort of direction there. And they just kept going in a straight line, straight path. Didn't veer off or anything like that. Just straight formation. And there was no navigation lights, nothing to really sort of help identify us. As I remember, it's like night shifts, 11 p.m. No navigation lights that you expect from a plane. And all I'm thinking is, I'm seeing two fighter jets here with no navigation lights, and I'm seeing the two afterburners. So to me, I'm just thinking, oh, cool, fighter jets. You don't see that every day or whenever, because like it's very rare to have any sort of military jets flying over a mine. And you do get the occasional planes, so that's where I thought I could have been plane of some sort. But yeah, military crafts, it sort of, yeah, it crossed my mind, but it was interesting. And so I jumped on the two-way, and I sort of tried to get everyone's attention on the pit there at the time, and going, "Oh, yo, come check this out! You know, see if you can see these things they're flying across." Unfortunately, no one on the two-way they saw them there, but it wasn't until later on went in for a crib, smoko, lunch break, a bit later on there. I got in with a few of the boys that were down there at the time, and told them about these two crafts that I could see. And I was saying, "Oh, did you see them? Like the what, like two fighter jets or something that flew over the top of us? Because that's pretty rare, you know. Like don't see fighter jets ever." And basically, they're like, no, that there weren't fighter jets or anything like that. Like, we don't know what they were, but all we saw was two orange lights that just fly straight at the top of us. And like, they're far enough away from the pit, so you're not going to get machinery noise or anything like that. So you can hear a plane, no worries, out there as well if a plane does fly over the top of you. But being fighter jets, well, from my assumption, like you're definitely going to be hearing these things over the machinery regardless. Um, so it left the mystery of what these two objects were, and interesting enough, I still can't figure it to this day. So obviously, there's a bit of a buzz there going, well, what the hell are they? We're trying to work it out. We can't rule out any possibilities, basically, like, what can these things be? So the end conclusion was like, this is still unidentified, unknown. And whilst, yeah, it didn't do anything spectacular or amazing, it it just really leaves that a mystery. And I'm still thinking in my head, there's got to be fighter jets, but I've never heard of fighter jets going into a silent mode and just cruising down to the end of the horizon. Like the whole experience probably lasted maybe like 3 minutes, like watching these things from where I got it and all the way to the end of the horizon. So they're hooking along pretty well. But again, nothing spectacular to go and really sort of raise the assumption that these could be something that's above our known capabilities and technology. So anyway, that sort of left me sort of buzzing and got the interest. Like, oh, yeah, cool. I need to go and start looking into this a bit more deeply. And it's like it's quite interesting. And one of the crewmates there, he's always had his own experiences there. I want to get him on the show, but he won't come on because he's a wuss. He doesn't want the attention. But yeah, so we got talking in there, and like we joined other Facebook pages there and all sorts of stuff, and we're always seeing things that weren't really convincing enough to say they're alien. We're always seeing like misidentified objects, like insects or a lens flare, all sorts of stuff there. And then we've seen a lot of people just taking the piss out of people that are trying to share their experiences there. And just saw one, and just taking the whole piss out of the whole topic in general, which sort of really got me frustrated. Then I saw like, look, hey, how about we start our own Facebook page, try and create a bit of a safer environment for people to go and share their experiences there, a bit of their interests or something they might feel they might have captured, and go and share it with us without trying to get too much of the ridicule. Keep the trolls away, keep the idiots away. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to do. It's very time consuming, so it makes it difficult in that regard. But anyway, so then we obviously created the Australian UFO Sightings AUFOS page, and obviously it's just gone absolute haywire. We've got over 31,000 members now, which is absolutely incredible. It's been going since 2017, so it's absolutely incredible. Turns out to be the largest UFO sightings page in Australia, which is a great achievement. And over those years there, like obviously there's a lot of misidentifications there, trying to explain to people and all sorts of stuff. Obviously you get the odd ones there who sort of feel like, what they feel captured is genuine UFO, but it's like, well, sorry, but like you got nothing that's convincing to really say otherwise. But going on, it's been great sort of interacting with people in that sort of nature, and like talking to the people and teaching people about UFOs, cameras, and other misidentifications and sort of stuff like that. And it got to the point there where I wanted to start talking to people, and lo and behold, here's this podcast here and talking to people on here and talking about their experiences there. Because I feel to that, like for this, I feel this is much better than looking at photos of something that's not very convincing because you're hearing it firsthand from these people. Uh, yeah, with their own experiences, they like that have actually seen something that actually does defy our sort of known capabilities or even logic in that matter when it comes to something in the sky. Um, so yeah, here I am doing this podcast, and I'm gonna getting you guys here joining me, and it's absolutely fantastic. This is what I love. It's absolutely amazing. I'd love to go and get more people on the show, which I want. So yeah, but by all means, guys, please do share this out. I really want you to share this out so I can get some more experiences on here, and hopefully keep bringing this content to you because it's absolutely amazing content. Because like I said, like the listening to people's encounters is the best part of this whole thing because there's obviously something going on out there that we don't understand, and we want people to sort of get a realization. That's my passion, getting people to understand what's going on out there, get an idea. So, because who's to say we know what's going on besides the government, of course? Like, they've got their own little secrets, their little undergrounds and all this sort of stuff. There's stuff going on there that we don't know of, and yeah, it's absolutely just amazing stuff. And I feel like the UFO community is sort of getting on the better side of things because the whole the topic is being a lot more spoken about. There's been less ridicule about the whole topic now. People are becoming more understanding, but it's also got its downsides too, where some people are too busy, or no, sorry, not too busy, but they're not observing, or they're not looking into things deep enough to sort of understand what they're actually looking at on their own behalf to sort of try and explain something that's explainable. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that everyone should know what's in the skies at the time. Like, but I'm just saying, like, there's other ways to go about your own research to try and figure out what something is. Like, Google's a great source. There's other ways to like sort of figure out, like for instance, okay, well, let's go. I'm going to go and start going through a few easy misidentifiers. So, for one, being an easy one is a lens flare. So that's easy enough. Obviously, it's going to be on your camera, and if you have a bright light source in your photo, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some sort of reflection of that light source acting on your camera's lens. And people don't really take notice of what's actually on the screen moving around, which is unfortunate because it's pretty obvious when you have a lens flare on your camera. And they're just there bopping away, taking pictures. And next thing you have this little blue or green orb to that, you know, that made the question go, is this a UFO? What is this? And you can try and explain to someone, go, look, you got the bright light source there, and it is that lens flare there, because it's the bright light source. You can flip the camera, invert it, and flip it, and all sorts of stuff to go and sort of give a rough idea of where the source actually is. And some people just don't want to believe what you're telling them. Like, they go, no, 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 it's not a lens flare. Or some people just don't understand what the lens flare actually is, but still want to call it a genuine UFO, and it's not. Which can be quite frustrating because you're trying to explain to someone there, and I guess that's the frustrating part when you're sort of a bit of a researcher, analyst in that nature. There, like you got the knowledge there to go and try and analyze something to explain it, but the other person on the other end doesn't want to acknowledge that or receive the information that you're giving. So that's an unfortunate part on that regard. But nonetheless, it's a learning lesson for everyone. And I got a few more. I should have written a list here on what I should have done for easy misidentifiers. But another example is there. You got the Starlink satellites there. There's the satellites there following along in a train, one behind the other. And people think we're getting invaded by aliens. Now these things have been around for the last bloody 4 or 5 years now. With Starlink, and it's been on the news. It's going through new Facebook feeds. Like surely everyone would have an idea now what Starlink actually is and what it looks like on a fresh release of Starlink. Because you're going to have 50, 60, 70 odd satellites all following in the one direction, same speed. Now, if these were alien UFOs, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be following each other in the same lines, in the same train. I'm pretty sure they'd be in some sort of military formation of some sort. Something that's a bit more questionable. But that's one of them at least. And then you got people misidentify Venus and other planets there. You got Sirius star that goes on the horizon there. When it gets really low on the horizon, it just twinkles really bad. Like even some of the other ones like Antares and a couple of name the others were near the Orion formation there, the stars. Because there's you've got the optical illusion there thanks to the atmosphere. So similar to what you get with the moon, how it gets enlarged from the lower it is on the horizon, the larger it looks until it gets to the higher in the sky, and then it loses its optical illusion. So a similar thing happens with the stars, except we've got a bit more atmospheric distortion, and the stars of the light going through the atmosphere and twinkles even goes absolute hardcore. Beautiful to me. I feel like Soraya Star looks like the Space Police. That's how bad. That's how much it's twinkling. So, we're going on that one there. So, oh guys, come on, give me some easy ones. I'm going mind blank here now for some easy misidentifiers. Insects is another one there. That's all about perspectives. So when it comes to regards to insects, the closer it is to the camera when you're trying to take something of like, say you're taking a photo of a background, like say like you're looking at the hills or something, like you're taking a photo of the hills or clouds or something like that, and the camera is focused on the distance. So everything in the distance there is nice and clear, it looks great until this little teeny tiny little bug wants to be a pain in the bum and go close to your screen. So I'm going to give you an idea here. So here's going to be a little crappy little phone with a little phone case here, so you can see this right. So you're taking a photo, right? This little teeny tiny bug, I think it's just about that big. So for the guys who are watching this, listening to this on the audio file, I hope you can hear me all right. I've got my phone here, and so look, we've got this little bug about 1-2 centimeters long, basically. Your average fly, something like that. It's going to go really close in. So this is probably about maybe a foot, 2 foot, maybe half a meter away. Can't even see that because the camera's out of focus because of the screen going. It's going all haywire. So it's going to go about there. So your camera is focused on the scenery at the back there, and everything that's close in is going to look blurry. So little flies like that, doesn't matter. Like anything within 2 meters is pretty much going to be out of focus. Just to give you a bit of a rough idea. So that's a constant thing that happens all the time there when I'm analyzing images of these, possible insects. So if people want to go and call them a UFO, yep, sure, but it's more than likely an insect being captured at that right time. Okay, we understand that from UFOs, they can go at hyperspeeds. Like I'm talking about alien UFOs. They go like phenomenal speeds that we can't even see at the blink of an eye, which I understand. And just by chance, you can say like, "Oh yeah, my camera just took that photo, and it was just going through that one frame." It can be an assumption, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be an insect. One reason being is it's out of focus. There's nothing there to really give it any structure, and unfortunately, it's not going to give any credible evidence of an actual alien UFO craft because it's completely out of focus and does not give that detail that you need to go and really claim it as a alien UFO. Just going through the comments here. So Joanne took a photo and a video yesterday late afternoon, and it was a plane with a trail behind it heading towards land at a 40-degree angle. So that's another easily misidentified one there in regards to that, which is I'm getting really confused here with people's knowledge and looking at the sky when it comes to planes here. I'm not trying to be critical on anyone or offend anyone, but like surely everyone's aware of contrails. You got the exhaust fumes from planes flying over all the time. So now you got to take into account that the atmospheric pressures, temperatures, also such stuff there at certain levels of the height in the sky. So your most common sort of contrails are going to happen around about 30 to 40,000 feet, a little bit higher, because that's the most coldest areas in our atmosphere. So you can be watching a plane. You're not going to get the detail because it's very far away, so it's going to look like a bit of a tic tac. So that's where people sort of misidentify it and think it's a rocket or the tic tac UFO because you're not getting the full detail. You might be lucky; you might get a bit of the wing tip here if you're lucky, but cameras are struggling to go and capture it unless you got like something with a great. No, it's not pre-recorded. This is this is live. So I'm having a lot of arguments here with people in regards to these contrails. So your camera's going to have a hard time trying to pick up the plane details because, again, it's not based on trying to zoom in on something that's so far away. It's going to start kind of at a perspective for the camera. It's going to get blurred up, and it's not getting that detail from such a small, tiny image. So in regards to the actual contrails, the trail, everyone seems like they want to say they're rockets and such, but no, they're not. Or they want to say they are cloud seeding, chemtrails. Well, that's going to be another one. So now I'm not saying chemtrails aren't a thing. They are, because there is a such thing as like a cloud seeding and such, but not every plane that you see in the sky is cloud seeding. So in a sense, contrails are in somewhat a chemtrail because it's an exhaust fume. So I'm starting to go on a bit of a rant. I'm losing myself. Sorry, guys. So bear with me as I try and explain this. Um, so what's happening is the contrails, you got the different temperatures in the atmosphere, right? So where these guys are flying around 30, 40,000 feet, it can be extremely cold. So you're looking in the minus degrees up there, depending on what sort of season it is, depending on what the temperatures are, and also what sort of I'm going here like I think I said pressures. I'm losing myself now. So basically, what's happening is like you got temperatures here in one spot here, you got thermals, right? One spot here is can be like we'll say minus 10 degrees or something like Celsius, and that's freezing point. So the moment the exhaust comes out of these planes, it's instantly freezing. So these clouds are then turning to ice. So the exhaust fumes are turning into ice particles, and they're staying frozen. And then they end up sort of turning into a cloud. Now these can stay around for a long time depending on temperatures. You can see these things cruise along for miles along the whole horizon, or if you're lucky enough, you'll see where it's it's got a trail and then it stops, and you think, well, what's going on there? Now, this is what we call a thermal pocket, which is where a a warmer thermal pocket, where I say it's probably more about 10 degrees, maybe 15 degrees, but sort of something that either way, the exhaust fumes are now melting to like they're not freezing at all in that point in that pocket. So, so you see the contrail just end all of a sudden, and you see the plane continue on until it hits another cold pocket and it starts freezing again. And you'll see these little pockets along the way if you watch it long enough. It might be lucky enough to hit another pocket. So you see contrail, no contrail, another contrail, no contrail, basically. So that's contrails. So I hope everyone's got a bit of a gist of what's. I hope I'm explaining it well, so they get a bit of a gist of what's going on. So not everything is a chemtrail on that nature, and not everything's cloud seeding, because you can go and check it out on the flight radar apps, which are a free download. That you can check out what kind of plane that is, and they're usually a passenger plane going from Brisbane to Sydney or wherever you are located. They're going to some sort of destination. Now, obviously, everyone understands passenger planes. They have a weight limit. They have fuel limits. They're not going to be carrying barrels of chemtrails to be going dumping that out for cloud seeding just for the sake of it. Cloud seeding planes are specially designed. They have sprays on their wingtips designed for these barrels. You can even Google up a cloud seeding plane. You'll see the whole plane is gutted out and it has tanks full of these cloud seeding chemicals or whatever they're using to go and try and cloud seed and control the environment, which is, I feel cloud seeding is a horrible way to do things. It's, it's human nature to want to play God, and they want to go and try and give things the advantage for humans there and create rain and drought driven areas and such like that, which is, I understand why they want to do it, but I sort of feel that mucks up the nature of the environment as well. So the world knows what it wants to do. It does what it wants to do, and that's one of the reasons why we're getting these wicked. Well, this is my opinion. This is why we're getting these massive, extreme temperatures. Over in America, getting these massive snowstorms and such like that. We're getting large hailstorms and whatnot. It's messing with the environment's climate, basically. I feel. Also, to add to the to these chemtrails, not chemtrails, contrails. They do sort of play a part in the environment because clouds sort of help create warmth. It insulates the area that's in. So clouds insulate the heat, which then creates the environment, which will then create storms and rain and such like that. So in a sense, these contrails do play a little bit of a part on that, but not a great part. So they will create their own sort of temperatures underneath it to help create rain. And also, that's a common sign where you are going to be getting a bit of rain. So if you're seeing these massive contrails in the sky, you're probably due for a bit of rain in the next few days or a week or so. So just so you know that, yeah, obviously temperatures are changing. But also, you're probably seeing the footage or these massive contrails. I think it's probably over in America, like in Canada and sort of stuff like that, where they got these like circling contrails. That's because it's extremely cold over there. They got snow, probably like all the snowy environments there, where there's a lot of air traffic. You got the planes going through. That's creating these contrails on their flight paths. So I've got a hidden user here. Even the snow in America looks fake. Seen it on YouTube. I can't really comment on that one there as I hasn't seen the snow. I'm not really sure what you're referring to. So I'm sorry, mate. I haven't seen the video on that one there. But yeah, guys, don't forget you can also go and check if that link's still there somewhere. Hit that StreamYard link there, guys. I'll put it on there again. And if you want to get in the live chat here, get in the live chat and have a chat, share your experience, talk about the topic of the UFO topics there. Whatever you want to talk about. You talk about the show, even and talk about your opinions. Just whatever you want to feel like on the topic there, and talk. Share your encounter, share your experiences, share your opinions. Love to get in here and have a chat and have a bit of a talk show sort of thing here going on. So yeah, basically, look, as my years as analyzing images and talking UFOs and such like, I've got to admit I have been copped a lot of flack over the years in regards to like giving my opinions and feedback on people's experiences and the images that or the footage that they show me. Unfortunately, that comes with a role. It can be very abusive in a sense. People have told me to go and get fucked. Sorry for the kids that are listening there. Don't know what I'm talking about. Even though, and it's like, who asked for your opinion anyway? It's like, well, you shared me the content anyway. You want my opinion on this thing, and I'm trying to help you out, man. Because look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that it's an alien craft just for your own ego to go and say, yeah, I captured an alien craft or something. Because if you don't have the evidence there to really show me that it's an alien craft, then I can't really agree with you on it. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm sure everyone has seen it throughout Facebook. On all UFO pages, people are sharing out of focus images. There's a speck of light in the nighttime dark because the camera can't pick it up. Nothing that's really convincing to sort of really go, you have an alien craft or something that's defying our technological capabilities. So I'm sure you can all agree with me when I say this, that, there's nothing convincing out there. So why should I be telling you that you have captured something that's of an alien phenomenal nature in that regard? So I'm not trying to discredit anyone's experiences and such, but sometimes when it comes to footage and such, it doesn't give the evidence needed to go and help back up what you've seen. So for me, I personally, I hold on to your word more than I do the footage, because your word has the detail to sort of give evidence to what you've seen, whereas the footage doesn't, because cameras are horrible. They don't want to show us what we want, or you don't have it. So unfortunately, in that regard, there, it doesn't want to work. So yeah, I've copped a bit of flack over the years, and I sort of for me personally, sort of feel like these images or people sharing absolute crap, like trying sharing contrails, lens flares, or out of focus images that is more likely in an image. I sort of feel like it's doing a more of a discredit to the whole community. And it's not only because people who are already non-believers on this whole topic see this there, and it's nothing convincing to them to go and say, "Well, you've got something." So that's why I sort of feel like we need something more convincing when it comes to footage. So don't be just sharing your, you know, willy-nilly little out of focus pictures or some little speck in the sky. I know it's you're trying to capture something. If it does something phenomenal, then yeah, but you have to try and use base points, like use something in the footage there to try and help you. Something stationary, like the edge of the house or a car or something that sort of like gives an idea if there's any movement. And then you also got to try and give the detail on top of that as well when it comes to like what direction it went, times, dates, locations, what kind of movements, how many objects were there, what did the object look like from your perspective, because the camera's not going to give us that sort of idea. And there's a lot of things to sort of throw in there, but at the time you're not going to be really thinking of that, which is the hardest thing, because it's all gone within probably 30 seconds, if that, and you don't even have time to pull out your phone, or you're not even sure it's worth taking out your phone in that regard, because you're not sure if you're going to capture it with your phone, especially if it's nighttime, because nighttime footage with cameras is absolutely horrible. So yeah, look, I'm not trying to discredit anyone's experiences here or what they feel they might have captured here, but again, like I'm saying, it's just it's a hard thing to sort of really be convincing when you want some evidence on this whole thing. Um, because like obviously everyone's got their own opinions on this whole thing and what they feel it might be. But that's why I try to encourage everyone to sort of be really critical on what you've actually seen or what you captured. Try and rule out every single possibility that you possibly can to try and help identify what it could be than to what it is. And so, um, it's a frustrating topic on my experiences. And like as much as I want to help people to try and you know bring out their experiences there and such like that, unfortunately, the footage at this point is non-convincing and stuff. So that's why I'm saying I hold on people's words better than actual footage itself. So obviously, some things can maybe a little bit questionable in there when it comes to footage. But again, yeah, I'm sort of going on a bit of a loop here, guys. But so we'll go into the comments here. I'll get to the field and disclosure will happen this year. I'll get to that one in a minute, Joanne. Damien Knott has some great footage. Look, he's got some stuff there, but again, it's not convincing enough to really point out that it could be alien or something of that advanced technology. I haven't seen all of his footage, but there's nothing for me to say like it's really convincing because again, like he's not really adding the detail there, the time frames or such like that in that regard, or the detail, to try and help explain what he's captured. He's it's really hard to sort of go like I was saying like before, it's really hard to try and capture something with a camera because it's always out of focus. This is a little blip of light. It could be it could be anything. So look, I'm not trying to disregard Damien Knott. He's done a great service to the whole UFO community itself. There, he's probably the prince of UFOs when it comes to Australia's sort of community. So like yeah. But again, look, that's everyone's own personal opinions in that matter. Yeah. What do you think it has done to the community that some people make fake UFOs? I absolutely hate fake footage. It does my absolute head in. I get so angry seeing them. Look, people want to say, look, it's artistic and whatnot. The part that annoys me is when they say they're like, "Oh yeah, we saw a UFO and this is real footage." It to me that's an even bigger discredit to the community, and it makes us look stupid in that matter. Because but then you get the people that don't even believe the fake videos, the CGI. I was like, how can you not see this as computer generated imagery, or someone's taking the piss out of the whole thing? There, like I know some things aren't obvious to some others, but I absolutely hate these CGI videos, or even that stuff they were trying to say they're seeing these UFOs coming from the moon and stuff like that. It's like ah, and I'll go a little bit on that there, because all right, let's put this into perspective, right? Okay, so we're seeing these fake videos there from of these objects flying over the moon and such. And yet they're pulling up these objects with some pretty decent detail on these objects. And okay, the moon's hundreds of thousands of miles or kilometers away from Earth as it is, and the moon in context is about the size of Australia, from what I'm aware of. So the moon's quite large in its own sense. But from that distance away, you need to go and put things into perspective here. And yeah, sure, we've got some telescopes that can do some great jobs and get some great close-ups of the craters and such in great detail. Now, if you're seeing these crafts flying over the moon, casting shadows over the moon and such like that, again, now I'm pointing out that the moon's about the size of Australia. So you need to have these crafts flying over the moon, casting these shadows. Got to be about the size of Sydney or bigger to be able to even cast a shadow onto the moon from that perspective, like that close to the moon. It's just the common logic behind it, common sense behind it, and people are going to say, "Oh yeah, no, that's legit. It's flying over." It's like no, like these things have to be absolutely massive, and if these things were that big in general, like we should be seeing them quite often flying around space and such because of how large these things are, in that perspective. So it's extremely frustrating when it comes to some of the footage you see through Facebook and that, and like just the people that just want to believe it. Like, oh, God, I'd love to be able to believe it. But it's just unfortunately, everything is fake and everything's a bit of a joke to everyone there, and it's a bit of a clickbait, and they want to go and make money out of the damn thing. And unfortunately, that's how it is. And for me, I try not to. I'm not judging anyone who makes money off this topic. Like I don't know, people, people have their time, they want to get paid for it, which is great. But it's not something I sort of feel like is a topic to go and really sort of make money from. Like especially when people like go and charging people to go out and do like a CE5 event, or something like that, or something of that nature. Go out and as an event and go and charging people to go to it. Like it costs people to go and drive to these locations. It's going to cost people food and that. Um, Now, for those who have been listening, like following the podcast quite often, would know that I did an event down at Lake Bonduran in November last year. I think it was November, October last year. I had people turn up. I charged people in that regard, but that was only to cover food costs. That was about it. That was like a share thing. So everyone would go and pitch in for food, and that was it. I made no money out of it whatsoever. Actually, if anything, it cost me more money than it was. So that's the only reason why I'd charge money for people to come to events like that, just to go, halvesies in food. So that's, to me, sharing the cost is quite fair. Otherwise, bring your own food. Anyway, enough about me. UFO Lou on YouTube has some good footage. He's Australian. I'll have to go and check that out. I might have seen it before, but I'll check it out anyway. Thanks for that one there. Lana, I've tried everywhere to find good footage of what flashing drones look like at night. We need to get more reference for them. There should be a few of them, but it's good telltale sign of a drone. Most of the time, they'll have a red or green flashing light on them. Pretty much the same navigation lights as what you'll see on a conventional aircraft. And sometimes I think they have the white strobe light on them as well. But you'll generally see a white or red light on either side of them, depending which side you're seeing them from memory. Big B Media's you got to understand that people are stupid to begin with. Yes, I understand. You imagine if the truth comes out, mass panic the ignorance. Look, I like to think there'll be some sort of panic for if we were to get some sort of disclosure of the truth coming out. But I think everyone will be starting going for the bread, milk, and toilet paper. I think that's where the panic will be going for, as we always do. Typical human beings: toilet paper and milk and bread. I don't know why that's the go-to, but it's quite silly. But anyway, I can't. Why are you being all anonymous there, Facebook user? Why aren't you coming up? Hope you're the same person. I can't stand fake buggers too. One day I'll jump in live, buddy. Not tonight. My kids next to me asleep. Sister's in the other room sleeping, but obviously I'll jump in live. Yeah, no worries. Look, if you want to come in and share experience, by all means, come and contact me and message me through the Facebook page there, and talk about your experiences there, or talk about the topic. But yeah, guys, if anyone wants to jump in right now, like I'm here right now, waiting for some people to jump in here, trying to do a bit of a talkback radio show with you. If anyone's interested, there should be the link there in the comments there if you can catch it. I don't know if I can pin this or not. No. That's that thing there. I don't know if you can actually click that link there, but by all means, try and get onto that and hit that link there and join me. Love to have you on and have a bit of a chat and do a bit of a talk show, radio show. I was trying to do a bit of a phone call link in with a phone number and all sorts of stuff, but it didn't quite work for me. So I need to go and look into that a bit deeper and try and get something organized in that regard, so I can actually try and do a bit of a talkback radio show. I'm not great with streaming and stuff like that when it comes to the programs and whatnot. So if anyone's got any ideas on how to do this sort of stuff and really set it up properly, please help me out here. I'm horrible in this nature, so I can do things quite simply, but again, it's just one of those things that's sort of catching me out, which I thought would have worked, but it's not working. Even the little intro warm up thing, I didn't want to seem to work for me, so I'm not sure what's happened there. So where do we go? Where can we go from here? Look, there's heaps of different theories out there. So actually, we'll go back to Joanne's comment there. Do I feel like disclosure will happen this year? Well, sort of to begin with, when we sort of got the news article there from New York Times there in regards to the Nimitz and the Tic Tac, I sort of feel that was a breakthrough in regards to a bit of a disclosure. That sort of led it along a big way in that regard. It got a bit of airtime with the media and such like that. But did it get the attention it deserved? Not really. I would have thought there would have been, some sort of a panic going, well, okay, what's in our skies? Like, why? Everyone should have been asking questions like, what are we? What are they? Who are they? But no one seemed to really give a shit. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think I got my time frames here a bit mixed up. Now I'm pretty sure it was a couple of years after the New York Times there did their article in regards to the Nimitz and the Tic Tac UFO encounters there, that the US government sort of jumped in and because they couldn't deny it anymore, because there was already broken out, the evidence was there now, like, in regards to the footage that was leaked. So I think it was like 2019. I think that's when the government actually, US government came out and came forward saying, yes, we acknowledge that there's things in our skies that we do not understand and are defying our technological capabilities. We're not sure who they are. We're not sure if it's Russia or China or what in that regards. So correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It could have been 2019 or it could have been earlier. I'm not sure, but I sort of feel around that time there, it was around the COVID time, and everyone was too busy worrying about themselves and COVID and such. The world was going in the pandemic; it was going to shit. So everyone was concentrating on that. And when the US sort of brought out admitting to yes, we are seeing these UFOs, I'm going to call them UAPs, that no one gave a shit because they're too busy with COVID. So it just got cast in the shadow and just didn't get the attention it deserved there either. To me, I sort of found it, people would have been questioning it again. Well, okay, if the US military is admitting to these things flying around their ships, it's flying around in their airspaces, it's all over the world, then why shouldn't we be concerned about this? It should have been a bigger concern, in my opinion, to try and figure out what these are. Obviously, we've got evidence in the past of the, UFOs flying around nuclear sites and such. Got public encounters, experience their sightings as well to go by. But yet a military, a US government admitting to this, it's even got into US Congress there as a topic. And yet still no one in the world bloody cares. And to me, that's sort of frustrating, especially like, Australia doesn't want to get involved in this. UK doesn't want to get involved in it. You might get a little bit of a chit chat here from other countries there, but no one in the world seems to want to be really going, hey, look, this is what we've got. No one wants to present the evidence that they have. Because surely, like, they'd have some idea or some sort of capture with their interactions with these objects. So, like, why is the rest of the world in hiding and letting America take over this? It's extremely frustrating. And if you've been listening to the podcast, I've had some great guests on the show and getting their opinions on the whole matter in there, and obviously go through there and check it out. I can't remember by quoting their opinions, but to me, I feel it's very frustrating, especially from the Allies side of things, Australia and UK with America. Like, you would think that they'd sort of be getting involved in it, and Australia wants to keep their head in the sand and go, we don't want anything to do with it. We don't know anything about it. Well, we do know something about it, but we're not going to say anything in it because we don't know. So to me, that's extremely frustrating, and I sort of feel like we had like a bit of a disclosure in a sense, but it's not at the same time. And now with these Chinese balloons that have come out, it's sort of put us back to square one, because we were getting away from the stigma that was attached to the whole UFO topic. People were sort of acknowledging the US admitting to the governments and that admitting to it. And yet now these Chinese balloons here, they're calling them UFOs, UAPs, and even though they didn't do anything phenomenal that we're aware of from going by their reports on it, they just called them UFOs. And next minute, everyone's just jumped on the UFO topic with it and call them Chinese balloons. So now everything's a bloody balloon in the sky. So we're sort of back to square one with everyone as a laughing stock. So thanks to that, and I think it's a pretty good tactic from America's side of things. Probably, whether it's deliberate or not, it took the pressure from the public hitting the American government up about in regards to UAPs. It took the pressure off, because now everyone's laughing about it. But you got some great people out there still hitting the American government up and trying to get the disclosure out of them, a bit more evidence out of them. So in that sort of opinion there, do I sort of feel like a disclosure will come out this year? I doubt it. I sort of feel like we're still being drip fed, and going from other podcasts and other channels there that I've listened to in the past, nothing seems to really want to be coming out now. They've got nothing that they'll want to share. They won't be showing any more footage or anything in that regard, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong, but that's from what I'm hearing from the rumors there. I think it's from John Greenwall's from the Black Vault there. He's doing an amazing job what he's doing. They're trying to get the evidence out of America there with all his freedom of information. If you haven't checked him out, go and check him out. He's absolutely awesome. He's got some great details on there. But I'm pretty from memory, I got a letter. He read a letter that he received from them that there's going to be no more evidence getting left brought out or footage, I should say, in that nature. So yeah, I guess we'll wait and see where it goes. Hopefully, the U.S. Congress can sort of put more pressure on the military governments, the DoDs, and all sorts of stuff, and get something more genuine and more convincing. Because that's the frustrating part for me. I sort of feel like, especially like when the U.S. government military admitted to these UAPs, showing footage of it, it's all in infrared or it's all as in in the military cameras. I've gone on mind blank here now. Infrared and the what's the other one there? Can't even think of it. The black and white one. I think it's infrared, and then you got the night vision ones there. But anyway, it's not showing the detail it needs to be. There should be two cameras on there. One's infrared to sort of like help pick up the image itself, and then the other one needs to have a full 200 2,000 pixel bloody detail and with a 10,000 zoom capability basically to sort of see what we're going up against. I still feel like that's the sort of footage we need. So, but even Lou Elizondo reckons we've got the footage there. Like, so it's like, all right, if you got that footage there or like pictures there of of these crafts in high definition, show us. Why are we so afraid to show this footage? Yeah, okay, we might get a bit of a panic, or it won't be a pandemic of nature, but it might be a panic on. Okay, shit, all right, we do have something that's not us. But I sort of feel like we would sort of adapt to it pretty well, because these things have been around for thousands of years, hundreds of years, or it depends on how deep you want to get into it. But yet they haven't even attacked us. They haven't done anything. They might have a little bit of interaction here, maybe a few abductions here and there. Whatever they're doing with the abductions, that's a different topic. But nothing's really to say they're hostile in that nature. So show us the images, show us the footage. So anyway, I'm going to shut up for a little bit and go through the comments here and read out the comments here. Do you think ships cloak? This is from Big B Media. Do you think ships cloak and roam around me and Mrs. have a? Sorry. I'm going to read that again. Do you think ships cloak and roam around me and the missus have had encounters, and where we live has had high numbers of people reporting UFOs? Absolutely. I feel like they do have a sort of a cloaking capabilities there. Like even now, we sort of have a bit of a sense of cloaking. Obviously, these guys are far advanced than us, so they've definitely got some sort of technology there to go and sort of cloak themselves. Not to mention they could quite possibly be interdimensional, so they're sort of passing through another dimension. Maybe, I don't know. It's all a guess here because everything on this topic is an assumption and guesswork. Anyone who claims that they know what they're talking about and or is an expert on this sort of thing, I feel like they're talking out their ass because I think no one has an idea what these things are and what their capabilities are. They're just going by secondhand knowledge. So yeah, look, I sort of feel like definitely they are capable of cloaking and hiding themselves very well, especially like clouds and such. They'll use anything, and it's sort of get on the perspective there of like they're camouflage. Like humans are only have a certain amount of color intake. They only perceptions for a certain amount of colors. There, they could have used colors that we can't even see in that regard. So like their camouflage is well beyond our capabilities of seeing. Whether it be cloaking or a different sort of color that we don't even know of. Go on Big Media's Wallen Dilly, look it up and when you get a chance, 80s, 90s, and even today. All right, Wallen Dilly, I'll definitely check that out when I get a chance. Joanne's asked, what's your opinion on Westall? That's I'm hoping to get Shane on in the future, in the investigator into the Westall encounter. I'm hoping to get him in here on the show in season 4 to go and talk deeply into this here and get his opinions on it. Obviously, everyone's seen Ross Coulthard's show there. He's done great coverage on that. They've probably sort of got some idea on Westall, but I sort of feel like, Westall is going to be the biggest cover-up in Australian history when it comes to the UFO sort of phenomena there. Just the way things sort of went down. Obviously things were easy to sort of cover up back in those days. Especially, threatening teachers there with their jobs, telling kids to go and shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. The thing that sort of sketches me out a little bit there is like when the kids sort of went near the craft there and passed out, and they moved the family on somewhere else and put another family in the house saying they never lived here or spoke a different language in that nature. Like, and the kid went missing and never seen again, which Ross Coulthard's pulled up in his second one that in documentary there. But that was supposed to be around the fire rumor, that one, a bit of a spook theory to it. So look, by all means, like in all honesty, I government's really covered that up really well. Because there's no evidence after that, no reports in that nature, nothing's found. It was just a really well covered up encounter. But yet, still so many witnesses there claiming they're what they're seeing. So that's yeah. I also feel like that's genuine. It's got to be. There's too many witnesses there that's going to say it wasn't. Um, So we go back to Mr. Anonymous here, or Mrs. Anonymous. Sorry, I forgot you. His Facebook user, the Anonymous. The pyramid over the Pentagon was a good one with the two eyewitnesses captures on their phones. I haven't seen the footage there with their phones, but going by that footage there with the pyramid UFO, it was strobing. So to me, I sort of feel like that's it's got to be a plane of some sort, or at least some sort of aircraft or a drone in that nature. Also going with because it was a night vision one, you got the sensor cone, which is some night visions do have a shape to them in the lenses there, or the sensor lens. It's hard to describe because in the technology that helps with the night vision, sort of to bring in the light. Um, so trying to think of his name now. Sorry guys, I'm at a mind blank here. Mr. Debunker, everyone's got a. I can't even think of his name. Why? The guy in the UK there, he's always debunks the UFOs there, and everyone sort of really gives him a lot of flack for it. Which honestly, I feel he does a lot of credit to the whole UFO community on that nature. I can't think of his bloody name. I hate that. I do these shows and I have these massive mind blanks. So I'll go and talk to someone out in the public there, and I'll be going, "Oh yeah, this person here, and this name here, and that blah blah." As soon as I do the shows, mind blank, gone. um, but what is his name? Oh, I'm gonna have to go search him up now. Sorry, guys. It was definitely come up here in a minute, and it's like I said, like what I was trying to say before. It's really good to be really critical on what you've seen or what's even been shown through social media. Don't believe everything you see. Don't just go, "Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a UFO or whatever." It's got to be real. There's so many different things to go and um, sort of analyze to get an understanding. So I'm sorry, guys. I hope I'm doing a bit of dead air time. This is a great opportunity for you guys to go and try and get in here and be a little bit of a call-in guest on my show here. Can you get that link there, guys? I'd love to get you on there. I'm hoping I can try and get this guy. I need to try and track down Mick West. I found him. Mick West. Now, obviously, some things he probably does things a little bit wrong. I sort of feel, but he does a really great way of explaining how easy it is to sort of misidentify something, especially with cameras and digital imagery. Because he explains it, he recreates it. He does a fantastic job. So don't disregard him when it comes to identifying or misidentifying something there, because he can really do a good job and hopefully explain some stuff. I'll try and get some footage there, some links there of his videos there explaining some stuff, because he does an absolutely fantastic job. And I feel he sort of needs to be held a lot more credibility to what he's doing to the UFO community. Because, like I said, people are easily believe something that's misidentified, just calling that a UFO. And, excuse me. And the way he explains it, he's trying to point out to the fact that, not everything is a UFO. Don't believe it to be a UFO. Again, analyze what you're seeing, and this is how you can do it. So, anyway, I'm going to shush about that one, then go to the next comments there. Anonymous users going, "Fuck the government. The people's encounters are far more convincing." Exactly. That's my thoughts exactly too, and that's why I sort of do this show, get involved in the whole UFO community, because I want people's experiences there to be held more accountable, for their experiences. Like, people that come on the show here, and they've got nothing to gain from doing this. They get no fame. They get no whatever's. it's only their I think they got more to lose than anything, um, on that matter. So, yeah, to me, I sort of feel like that's why I wanna keep reaching out and getting more people's experiences there to go and show the world that, the people are seeing these things, people are experiencing these things, they're having something that's unknown, that we don't understand is out there, these things are real. And so, yeah, again, that's why I do this. This is my passion because I wanna bring the reality out to the world and get these non-believers, these skeptics to realize that, there's something happening out there. Don't be so closed-minded thinking that the world you see as it is normal is the world itself. There's more to it. Because people are seeing ghosts, they're seeing cryptic sort of yowies and weird creatures roaming around when they see them. Yeah, obviously your eyes play a bit of a trick, or can play a bit of a trick on your eyes. Weird things there, or different perspectives and whatnot. But when they can see proper full detail of what they're seeing, that's where it's convincing. Where they're seeing something paranormal or cryptid in that sort of sense. So there's definitely some sort of weird things that we just don't understand. There's a whole new universe. So going back to Christopher, I think the talk of UFO UAP, I think it's trying to go for, was so taboo for so long. This is the damage it has done on the people. So now, when USA talk about it, saying yes, UFO UAP are real, people just don't care anymore, and it's sad. Yeah, absolutely, and that's where I sort of feel like when we actually do get that high definition footage or image of something that's convincing that they've captured, I sort of feel like people will probably open their eyes a little bit more. But I don't feel like we'll have a massive outbreak of a pandemic or people panicking. I just feel like they'll just go, all right, we want more information on this. So um, yeah, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, going back to going to anonymous here. I reckon getting bored of dots in the sky footage. We need aliens now. Oh yeah, I 100% agree on that one too. I'm getting sick of seeing stuff here. I used to comment there, going, look, there's nothing convincing here. What you're trying to show me, and especially when they show you a video of a little dot in the sky and they think it's moving, it's actually you and the camera moving it, and it's like, know the difference between hand movements. Like you can hold your camera, you can hold it as still as you want. You're still gonna have that little bit of a handshake. Doesn't matter how good you think you are, you're still gonna have that little bit of a movement with your hands. And like people go and try and claim that as the object moving when it could be stationary the whole time. But yeah, I'm sort of sick of them, especially when it doesn't have the detail, like the time, dates, locations, and the detail and what it did and how many were there, what it looked like, all sorts of stuff. Detail to me is crucial when you want to try and show the world that you've captured a potential UFO. I'm talking genuine UFO, not just something that's unidentified. Because I understand unidentified flying object because it's unidentified. We don't know what it is. But unfortunately, the way it's gone over the years, UFO has got this the assumption attached to it that it's an alien craft. Because when you hear UFO, you immediately think aliens, thanks to news and other programs and sources throughout our years growing up. UFO is always regarded as alien, but obviously, yeah, unidentified is unidentified. So, excuse me. So yeah, it's a fair point on that regard. G'day, Hillbilly. Thanks for joining in, mate. Why would aliens come here? That's a really good question. Whether they are coming from a distant galaxy or a different system, that's another question in itself. Obviously, we don't know that. Obviously, other people claim that they're coming from other star systems or galaxies in that nature. Whether you want to hold the truth in that opinion, that's up to you. I can't discredit it because it's not happening to me. I can't say otherwise. It's more of just a matter of opinion to yourself, really. Excuse me. Um, like, where are they coming from? That's the biggest question. And I sort of feel like, for me personally, like when you look at it this way, humans have been around for what? 10,000 years, 20,000 years, something like that. I can't remember exactly when. Now, throughout that time, apparently we've been like throwing sticks and rocks and, been really uncivilized throughout thousands of years. So, what happened in the past 1,000 years that we've all suddenly, or past 1,000, 2,000 years, to sort of become civilized? And then we sort of jumped along in the ages there where we're sort of like doing swords and, still using spears and swords and whatnot, and bows and arrows, whatever, for a good 1,500 years. And then all of a sudden we've started advancing into the industrial age. We started getting into combustion engines and all sorts of stuff. And then all of a sudden we just boomed and suddenly got microchips and CDs, microwaves, all that sort of stuff. All that stuff that just happened there in what was it, 1949? Was it? When was Roswell? Roswell. Help me up here, guys. Roswell. I sort of feel like after Roswell, we had a technological boom. Bang. Microchips and stuff like that. Computers started coming out. We just went like tenfold. And it's like, how can that suddenly be a thing? Like it took thousands of years for us to even get to, combustible engines, steam, and I was like 47. Thank you, 1947. I was close. I wasn't too far off. To get to that breaking point, which is boom to where we are today. So I sort of feel like, to me personally, in my opinion, I sort of feel like we're a bit of an alien ant farm. They've sort of been watching over us, whether they're from a past civilization prior to when we sort of were in our own stone age and our own sort of civilization now. It's quite possible that there were a civilization in the past that was well advanced and something happened to the earth, or for whatever reason, they had to go and escape, and they're doing their thing. Then they're sort of like, survivors or whatever, or they come back down and sort of planted some random humans here and go, "Well, let's see how they go, plant these little seeds in the earth and see where they go." And obviously, things probably went a bit too slow for them, like 10,000 years. Like, what the hell were they doing? What were we doing for 10,000 years or whatever? And so then they got to that point there where, civilization started getting a bit broader, whether because we got more populated or something like, because it was a bit, whether they scattered, like obviously, yeah, because we're different races around the earth. So they've obviously planted different locations around the earth and watching how we evolved and whatnot. And obviously, as we got more populated, we started interacting more with each other. That could be a whole theory to it. And then to sort of jump into where we started building pyramids. We started having these temples and all sorts of stuff building up. Was that we were even like you see like hieroglyphs or sort of ancient sort of texts and that talking about these things in the skies, all these weird beings, and sort of treating them like gods and sort of worshipping them in that sense. So it's like, well, where do we go from that? And so like there could possibly have been some sort of interaction between these beings and us in those ancient civilizations. Then to obviously get to the point there where we're obviously going world wars and whatnot. And then after World War II, they sort of decided like, well, if it was deliberate or not, Roswell crash, got the technology from that, and boom to where we are today. So I sort of feel like to even get to you look into Tesla as well, like all that sort of stuff as well. There's ancient technology that's there that just sort of got cast aside or was put down because of greed and all sort of stuff. I'm sort of going a bit roundabout way here, so bear with me, guys. I'm trying to come up with a theory of like the whole thing, but yeah, whether they're from a galaxy or not, interdimensional, could have been from a previous civilization hundreds of thousands of years ago, before the prior, like the the world sort of had a mass climate explosion or something, something that world-ending event, something in that nature where it just wiped out all civilization. So obviously, who knows? We don't have that sort of information. Everything's all based off theory. So look, it's all on whoever's on your own opinions. So yeah, don't forget, guys, you can still get in here on the links. There's links should be there in the comments there. I'll throw a new link up there. So if someone wants to join in there and throw your opinions in, get in on it. Hope that works. And so going in on more of the comments here. So Hillbilly's gone. I'll just keep going from where Hillbilly left off. So why would aliens come here? Yeah, obviously I'm not really sure. Maybe he's saying food, possibly. I don't think so. Definitely not food. Resources a possibility, but then again, like there's not really been evidence of them taking resources in that sense. So yeah, I sort of doubt that as well. However, we are way out of the way in the galaxy. Definitely. So, but again, like they're advanced civilizations out there. Who knows? It's one of those things. It's just universal evolution. Who got there first? Anonymous is back again. Just wondering if you had a UFO encounters like from the 80s. I would like to be under hypnosis, only because I remember it like yesterday. But I know there were missing pieces to the sighting, most definitely. Yeah, look, got to be careful with going under hypnosis there. Just try and recall your experiences there. Obviously, depending on the expertise on the hypnosis, just the person who was doing the hypnosis. Obviously, because they can plant the ideas in your head, thinking that you might have been doing something, so they have to be really careful with their words. Um, so be careful with that one. Got Mary Rodwell, who's really good for that sort of stuff there and helping out there. I know Lana in the comments there, she's talked with Mary in regards to that, with her experiences there and that, and she's had a fantastic experience there with Mary, which is another one I'm going to try and get on the show there at some point there, which will be absolutely fantastic. Get a bit of insight for her. But you also check out another episode there I had on the podcast. I had Harry on here. He's a hypnosis as well. He's a UFO researcher in that sense as well. And we talk about the whole hypnosis topic as well. So go check that out. It's in the podcast. It's somewhere. I don't know what episode. Sorry, guys, I can't have you on that one there. But check it out with Harry. Wonderful chat there with him. Let's see. Big B Media Earth had a reset. Something happened. Exactly. That's what I was trying to refer to. The resets. There was an advanced human race. Put us back into the Stone Age as we reset. Yeah, so that's what I'm sort of feeling. There's going to be some sort of reset or something that's thrown us back again, or whether or not we were planted again to sort of a bit of observation, because these crafts are flying around and they all more so seem to be observing or studying us in that sense, I sort of feel. Otherwise, they'd probably be a bit more interactive in that sense. We are closer to Cleopatra than she was to the building of the Sphinx. Fair enough. Big B's, even the whole pyramids held aligned perfectly with stars thousands of years ago. It's a good topic on that one there. Like, how do they even know to sort of really align them really well? There's obviously something there that they've understood, some sort of maybe technology, some sort of knowledge there that that's been lost over time, or has been hidden either way. Let's see what the theories they have is laughable, but something happened. Oh, look, there's definitely lots of things here that's laughable, but obviously there's a bigger picture here that we just don't understand. Excuse me. Electric cars were around far longer before for gas, but agreed and oil production was more important. Greed's taken over the whole world, and that's what's thrown us under the bus here with where we are today. Because electricity was a big thing back in those days, and if you go by the rumors of Tesla, with his knowledge there, apparently he had free power. Inventions there that sort of would have changed the world in that regard, like benefited humanity itself. But unfortunately, the big production companies there wanted to go and make money out of something. So like, what are you going to get out of free energy? It's it's a shit world we sort of live in. Greed is a bullshit thing. We shouldn't even be a thing. We should be living in love and prosperity in that regard. Because I can't see the advantage of being like having tens of billions of dollars in your pocket for what? Just to go and see it, just wave it around, showing everyone how big your dick is because you got the most money in the world. Like, no one really cares. All these people here, us, the middlemen, working every day, working our asses off to try and make a living there, and yet everyone's sort of struggling to even have a decent life. You make the most of what you got, but corruption in the world is just it's horrible. I hate it. It's everyone should be having a free life. Why should we be slaves to the corporations? But unfortunately, that's how the world rolls, and we just got to roll with the punches there. So it's shit. Yeah, I can keep going on about that. Yeah. So where do I go next? Trying to think where I can go next now. The only species to pay to live on a planet, exactly. Yeah, it's shit. Where do we go from here now? So we're talking about disclosure. We're talking about the US and that. Um, where can we go? Any ideas on where you'd like to go next, guys? I've got a little bit of time on me. And still want someone get someone in here. Come on, like click that link in there. You should be able to join in on the stream. Like at least I hope it works. To get you in there. It's I sort of feel like the whole world always shuns the whole things they don't understand. Like I was saying before, skeptics don't want to believe anything else than what they see with their own eyes. You get the odd person here and there that's sort of open to the ideas of things and that, but then you got the people who are probably a little bit too open-minded and believes everything is UFO or paranormal, a bit too spiritual-minded, maybe. I don't know. But there needs to be a bit of a balance there. And I just, again, like I want to just go and touch on again, like be critical on what you see, even if it's on social media with the videos and CGIs and crap like that. Footage is, computer generations is getting really, really good now, especially when we're coming up into the quantum sort of AI and all sorts of shit. Things are going to get really hard to tell what is and what's not CGI. I've had a few videos there where I've sort of thought, oh, wow, that's very convincing footage, And then it wasn't until I go through the comments there and then someone else points out something there where it's like a bit of something doesn't work out. And it's like, holy shit, how did I miss that? And like then you look at the footage again, you're like, wow, okay, that was really convincing. And now that you pointed out what that is, yeah, it's 100% fake. And it's like, oh shit, I just got done here, and I consider myself pretty hard to go and sort of throw the rug over, to sort of believe something on social media. But yeah, so things are getting really hard, especially with some new engine that's coming out there for creating games and footage and all sort of stuff. Is getting really convincing what they can do with the environments there. I don't know if you guys would be interested. I can throw a link in the threads here for you to go and check out like where we're at when it comes to video game footage and all sorts of stuff, CGI, all sorts of stuff, because it's becoming amazing and obviously it's going to keep getting better. So for those who like might have actual evidence, of something that's undeniable evidence, on their behalf of their capture, it's probably going to look like a CGI in the future, and then they're just going to be getting told they're fake crap. So it's at that point now where any convincing evidence is going to be still held as possible fakes, unfortunately. So, and again, that's thanks to all these CGI idiots who keep creating these videos there to go and try and trick us because they're creating the fake content there, and no one's going to believe them. It's like the boy who called wolf, that sort of thing. So going through the comments here again, military industrial complex messes us up. Yes, especially with the US, they're very focused on military. I think China and lots of going through there. Obviously we've got to have our defenses and such like that. But the last bloody When was Vietnam? That was 60s or 60s, I think. What's that? So what's that? Top of my head, was that 50? No, 60 years now since. Yeah, 60 years since Vietnam. Like the world's been at pretty well peace with everyone around the world. So there's no reason why we should have like a bit of a military complex about the world. I understand that we need to upgrade our technologies and such like, but why make it to the point there where it's threatening each other? To me, that's just a war is not needed. We don't need it. Um, I especially don't want to go through a war in my lifetime, let alone my children's lifetimes or anyone's lifetimes in that matter in the future. As we all know, with historical wars and that, no one wins really. The damage is always there. But yeah, peace comes at a cost, as they say. Anyway, so Christopher's come back. When do you think it will happen? Like UFOs land on Earth and start interacting with the world, or do you think it will never happen? Look, honestly, I sort of feel like if it gets to a point where it is World War III, I hope that we'll sort of get some interaction because, as you know from past leaks and reports, there, these UFOs have been hovering around the these nuclear sites, nuclear silos. So whether or not they're like, 'cause if you go through the reports, so it's at the point there where they were ready to push that button to launch these nukes over to where they were going, and these UFOs have sort of come in and gone turned off their silos. Cut everything out from the so they can't launch these nukes. So I sort of feel and I sort of hope that when it gets to that point, if it was coming into World War III, and I think there was a report the other day on the news that China and Russia are talks of bloody launching nukes or some shit, and it's like, well, why? Like, why is it going to escalate to that crap for? And so I'm hoping that whatever is there looking out for us or looking after us, observing us, will do the same again and switch them off and stop them from using these nukes. Because again, no one's going to benefit from it, and everyone just be like, as soon as that one nuke is launched and it lands, there's also going to be retaliation from mostly America and the rest of the world. They'll be sending nukes everywhere, and then we're going to be going into a nuclear winter across the whole world. And again, no one wins. So yeah, I'm hoping it will. If it gets to that point, that's where they'll probably land in front of the White House and wherever, and go, "Hoi, stop your shit," and we've had enough here. Yeah, we're going to take over, or either way, that's I sort of feel like where we might get an interaction with whatever these beings are or crafts are. Um, Curasia Trooper. I'm just going to call you Trooper. Um, that's where Avi Low project we need to succeed. I can't remember what you were referring to me on that one. Sorry, mate. But I sort of feel like you're on the same page with me. Where, like, it's we need to open up the reality of what these are. So yeah. Um, yeah, it's just one of those things you can sit around and wait for, isn't it? It's a pain in the ass. I hate it, but because obviously, like I was saying, the evidence is there from the public's eyewitnesses, witnessing accounts, and like, how is that not good enough evidence to the public of these things actually happening? Not everyone's crazy, not everyone's on drugs. No one needs to be in a crazy house or a nut house in straitjackets because they're questioning their mentality because they've seen something. Um, I should also point out that well, with my first experience, that if you've been here since the whole show, thank you for sitting in. That wasn't my only encounter. I've seen a couple of things now. Of these, well, I don't know whether you want to call them that satellites. I'll point out again. I'll say this: I haven't seen anything do anything phenomenal. Like, people report they're seeing these things doing zigzaggy sort of stuff, or just zipping off and disappearing over the horizon or wherever at phenomenal speed. I haven't seen anything on that, and I'm hoping one day I will. Because to me, that's gives more credibility to what I'm doing. I've only just seen objects that I can't identify because I can't explain what it could possibly be. I can have an idea what it might be, but again, then the evidence sort of outweighs that and goes, look, it's not really that. Um, So the other experiences I've had is mostly just like a light going from one side of the horizon to the other horizon. So this one went from west to east, and look, they covered the whole sky within probably about 2 minutes. And if anyone knows, like the ISS goes over on a good day, that goes over in within 5 minutes. That's a decent amount of time, or because then it goes and fades off into the other side, the dark side of the Earth, like most satellites. So for what I've seen there, it's too fast for what any usual normal satellite would do. And I actually put a report up on the UFO page there I got the other night because I was out there having a few drinks there with some mates and that, and I saw one object going about probably that same speed. It covered the whole sky within probably about 2 minutes. But unfortunately, it didn't go from one side of the horizon to the other because just from where I've seen it, followed it, and it's going extremely fast, faster than your average satellite. Like this thing was hooking along bloody fast. And I put and go, what the hell is that? Check that out. And you know, I was going across the sky, and then next minute is the second one, but it's like a little bit further across the sky, and so they're both sort of going the same speed along with each other, and it just faded away because it went out of the sun there and into the dark side of the Earth. So what that was, I have no idea. I can try and speculate on what they could have been satellites. People are saying it's Starlink. It's too fast for Starlink. Starlink's going 30,000 Ks. This thing's probably going like maybe 50, 60,000 kilometers across the sky. Because the average satellite travels around about, 30,000 kilometers an hour, depending on how far it is from the Earth. You've got to take in that detail there of how close it is to the Earth and the speed and the trajectory it needs to do so it doesn't get sucked back into the Earth's gravity. Whatever those objects were, I don't know because they were bright. There was no signs of any, the normal navigation lights or anything like that for the plane. Just two bright lights. Probably about this. If you go outside and you look at Venus, there's probably about the same brightness as that. Like they're pretty bright, and pretty obvious, so they stood out. So that was quite good to see something like that and go, wow, okay, we've got something else here. Um, so Hellhath, g'day, thanks for joining us. Says hi Anthony, many thanks for all you do, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. What's your thoughts on the CE5 protocols? Sending love and the best wishes from Perth AU. Yeah, great. Thanks for tuning in. CE5. I'm not skeptical. I hate the word skeptical. I'm critical on the thoughts of this. Like obviously there's a lot of opinions and thoughts and experiences on this, different opinions. And for me personally, I haven't tried it properly. We were meant to go and try it when we went down to Lake Mondoran. But obviously we were too in the moments and talking and whatnots and didn't even get a chance to do it. I'm not against the idea of the CE5, but because I haven't done it myself, I can't really give my opinion on it. But going from other people's experiences on the CE5 contact there, again, it's sort of my critical, objective mind sort of things like, well, what are they looking at to sort of say they are getting some sort of contact? Because you got like as long as these people have an idea of what's in the sky and what to see or what to expect in the sky in that nature, then if they're seeing something that's not of our usual sky observations, then it could potentially be something. I just haven't seen any footage or any real sort of evidence to really back their claims that the CE5 does work. Look, I'm all for the spiritual side of things, like some sort of vibrations and connections to whatever's out there, whether that's a thing or not. Yeah, I'm all for that. I sort of feel like there's a thing. But again, like it depends on what they're seeing and to claim it as a actual contact because you got the satellites there, and then you might have the odd people are aware of geostationary satellites. Now these are satellites that are hundreds of kilometers out away from the Earth, and they're geo locked to a certain point on the Earth. So these things will rotate around on that point, observing the Earth directly on that point, and go with the Earth in the rotation. So they're locked there. They don't just they're not like the normal ones you see there going along the horizon, the sky. And they all sort of rotate, and you might, if you're lucky enough, if they've got the right angle, they will flash, and it looks like a camera flash in space. Basically, that's how bright they can be. It's a pure bright white light, a little flip and disappear. if you've seen something like this, you can sort of observe it long enough, hopefully, and you can time it. So the mostly I've seen is probably 8 to 10 seconds, somewhere around that sort of time. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it'll go flash like within that sort of time frame. So, and I sort of feel like if people are doing the CE5 and they're seeing that, they're probably thinking that they're getting some sort of like flash from there, going, "Hey, we are here, g'day," and the next minute they're going, "Hey, yep, CE5, it works," and yeah, unfortunately, yeah, in my opinion, there are just not enough evidence there to really back up that it actually works. Um, you know, it's a real hard one to sort of get a real good opinion on. But if people want to claim it works for them, then it works. But unfortunately, we just don't have the technology there or anything that's really that will really help us give that evidence out there to go and really say to justify that it does work. So yeah, that's basically my opinion on that. Going back to anonymous here, I got in contact with a person on Facebook that was. Hang on, I got in contact with the person on Facebook that was with me that night. I hit her up about it. She didn't say anything like it was still my fault. Sorry that I'm a little bit lost on where we're going with that one there. I was 16 years old at the time, 1989. I'm 50 years old now. She was 13 years old. Okay. Um, I think I'm guessing just have to get more detail on what your whole encounter there is. So yeah, I look forward to hopefully get in touch with me. Send me a message through Facebook there, and we'll chat a bit further on, and we'll look into getting you on the show at some point there, and yeah, have a chat. Because like obviously, yeah, look, there's a lot of experiences out there and that, and yeah, the more the merrier. So yeah, guys, don't forget to go and share this podcast out and get more people's experiences out there. Um, Look, guys, tell me what your thoughts are on what you think of the podcast here. I know I've got a lot of improvement to do with myself here. I'm not great at talking. I'm horrible at it. I go off topic. I can talk crap and really bad at explaining things. So I hope you get sort of making sense of what I've been trying to explain tonight. It's been a good practice for me, so it's been absolutely fantastic. But yeah, guys, I'd love to get your opinion on the show. What you'd love to see in the future for the show. I do have ideas there, but some things sort of cost money, and I'm not one to go and ask people for money because I'd love to go out there and go and sort of do a bit of a documentary sort of thing. Go on a bit of a UFO expedition, bit of a hunt. I don't want to call it a hunt because we're not hunting them, but bit of a sighting expedition, and try and see what we can sort of capture. I'd love to do that, but that again, that sort of costs money. Um, it's again, I don't like asking people for money, but if it is something you'd probably like to get down the track there, I'll think about it. If people want to sort of like help sort of donate and sort of fund in towards it, again, it's like I feel yeah asking for money, but if it's something you guys might like, I'll try and look into it and see what I can try and do on my own budget. But like, because like all I want to ask from you guys is supporting the show and sharing it wherever you feel necessary to go and share it and help, you know, get the content out there. Basically, the only thing I'm getting from this to sort of get money from is like the ad revenue, and that's about it. And I'm probably like getting like what 50, $70 a month out of it. Not that it's much, and not care for it, but it just helps cover the show a little bit there for the audio and subscriptions here I'm using for StreamYard and whatnot, and just helps cover a few of those little costs there. But yeah, again, I'm not really much for asking people for money, but look, if it is something in the future you sort of want there, I'll sort of, yeah, maybe ask. See how I go with it. But again, guys, like, I'm just, your support here, just listening to this podcast and getting on the shows, talking here in the chat here. That's to me is all the support I need. That's what I love here, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you all here for yeah, even just putting up with me. So yeah, look, I really love doing this. It's something I really enjoy, and obviously we're trying to figure this all together. Obviously everything's all speculations and assumptions here, and ideas and whatnot. Obviously there's no idea out there that's wrong, in my opinion, because there's just so many different aspects of this whole topic that could be right. That little 1% of that information that's right is a step closer to getting the truth. Until we sort of yeah, get them landing on our front door, basically, then they'll hopefully get the truth out of them and get more, bit more of an explanation. Um, but yeah, actually, there's one topic I can sort of go on. Abductions. That's a good little one to go for. My theory on abductions there, and also going through, different theories there, people I've talked to over the years there with in regards to abductions. It's been a bit of a mixed sort of, uh, what would you call it? Mixed relation when it comes to abductions. Some people are saying they had good experiences there. Others saying they've had horrible experiences there. I heard some there where it's like very violent, and aggressive, whereas others have been very pleasant. They've been very feeling safe, and it's like, well, there's no reason to feel threatened. But I guess that's up to the person at the time who was being abducted, whether they feel it's like, whether they feel scared and are very defensive on the whole thing. Um, but yeah, where do we go with abductions? It's like, well, what are they doing? Why do they need to abduct us? That's sort of where I got the theory there. Like we are like a bit of an alien ant farm, and they're sort of studying us. Whether there's some sort of something in our gene that they're sort of looking into to try and take, uh, um, you know, some sort of genetics from us. Something that's of interest. And it's like, why? When they're sort of like so intelligent and so advanced than us, like, well, how is it they can? Why do they need our genes of interest in that sort of aspect? What's the concern there? Like, some people want to complain they're doing like hybrids or something like that because they're from another galaxy or not another galaxy, but another system, and they're a dying breed or something. They can't breed anymore. Different theories such like that. So you have to use our sort of genetics to go and combine with their genetics to create these hybrids, so they can sort of keep coming in, keep on continuing their race in a sense. But for me, like the scariest part about the whole abductions thing is like you just don't know when it's going to happen, or if you are even an abductee. Sometimes, and some people just go through their whole life not even knowing, but yeah, or some people wake up and sort of go, "I think I've got abducted." They start questioning what's been going on, while they're asleep. That's to me that's the scariest part because you've got no control over the whole situation. And what do you do? Like that's all like that's our defense. Like when we go to bed, we lock all the doors and we think we're safe. Yet these guys just go through walls and roofs and whatever, and just whether interdimensional, I don't know. They seem to be able to appear out of nowhere and just take us to their ship, or experiment, do whatever they need to do to us, and then set us back in our beds, and erase our memories to the best of what they can. And sometimes they don't erase our memories, and some people are remembering the whole encounter. To me, that's sort of really scary. So, yeah, obviously, look, there's lots of different theories there with regards to abductions and whatnot. To me, that's scary. Helena, have you heard? Helena Hellhath has got a comment here. Have you heard of the Sky 360 initiative, and are you aware if there are any plans to develop more in Australia? I'm not sure. I'm really aware of the Sky 360 initiative. Is that regarding the holograms that they keep people trying to bring into existence there with this fake invasion sort of thing? Is that what you're trying to get at? Christopher's got, you'll never know if you were or not. Yeah, at most points you'll never know, but some people seem to have the, sort of a repressed memory there that sort of comes out occasionally, and for some reason they don't even know they were abducted till years later. Anonymous is back. No point locking your car when you have a encounter. Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Like these things can wipe out our technologies. The scariest part is like we're like being followed by a craft, and it shuts down your car, and next minute you've got missing time, and you're left there wondering what the hell just happened. Like because there's like 2 hours missing from where you should have been home by now. Basically, that's another scary part. And it's like it sort of makes you wonder too, like between that point where you're missing time, especially if you're in a car. So you're driving around along the highway, whatever, cruise along, and like say it's 10 o'clock, and next minute there's this object behind you, and you're sort of freaking out a bit, going, "What the hell is that?" Next minute you come back and you're back driving the car, and it's like 2 hours later. And so, what the hell happened between that point? And like, where is your car during all this? Have they taken the car with you, with them, or has it been left the side of the road or something? Or, what the hell happens that part? That's to me that I find really interesting to figure out the whole in between point. Obviously they're being taken away and um that point. So it's like, well, what's happened? And also the other thing is too, like, well, these people aren't seeing any cars coming or going, like for hours on end. So it makes you wonder, are you sort of getting put into another dimension or some sort of dimensional rift you go through or something like that, where you can't see any cars in that matter? It's just really interesting. It's just raises so many questions of what the hell, like what the capabilities are and how do they do this? Is it magic? It's one of those things that's really strange. I'm hoping Hell hath got back to me there by now with the Sky 360 initiative. I might just do a quick little search here, guys, if you bear with me for a sec. And I'll see if I can figure it out myself there. And again, guys, if you want to get in on this quick little chinwag here, hit that link there. I'm going to post it up again there. If someone's interested to go and get in there, you just have to go and accept all the stuff there. If you're on your phone and whatnot, it's just goes through a web browser. So let's go 360. Oh yeah, Sky 360 on there. Hang on, whoopsie, Sky 360 initiative. There we go. So what do we got here? No, mate, it's a Sky UAP observation station. There's one apparently in Sydney. I think I know who you're talking about now. These are developers that are creating the cameras and such that they're creating cameras there and putting them in stationary points with like they're like infrared. They got normal cameras, and they're just constantly watching the sky at 24/7. If that's ones you're talking about, and they got a really good view of all the sky around them, which is something we've needed in a long time. Like I had the idea there years ago to try and do this stuff, but I just don't have the technical background to even look at doing this. But so if I can 360 so yeah, Sky's 360s. Let's just go and give you a bit of an idea. Facilitate a citizen science project to observe the skies and all their phenomena around the globe 24/7 and provide harmonized, high quality results and analysis available to everyone. Develop hardware and software with and for the project community under MIT and Creative Commons license. You can support them with that. UAP tracking, that's them. Yes, I've spoken to them in the past there, and I've posted it to the Australian UFO sightings page. And yeah, they've been really good. It's crowd funded, and it's quite expensive there. I was nearly going to go and look into it to myself there to go and try and make one myself, but unfortunately, they don't make them pre-assembled. You have to go and have an idea what the hell you're doing to go and code them and put it all together. Like I can put stuff together, but when it comes to coding and all sort of stuff, I'm at a loss. um, and it was nearly going to cost like 10, 15 grand or something like that. And it's probably more expensive now these days. If I can get this on there, so give you a bit of an idea. There's a bit of a video here, so that's probably if I can just no stop that. Yeah, I'll get this a bit of a share screen so you guys can have a bit of an idea what's going on and have a look into it. And that one there, share screen. Ta-da! So here you go, guys. Have a look at this one here. What we've got. This is a bit of an example of what they're doing. Bit of a snippet. So that's a bit better than clarity. This thing's rendering in. So that there, I'm guessing this here is the object of interest. And we're still going, yeah, very slowly. Now we're rendering. You beauty. I love that. Sorry, guys. We'll try and get there. Yeah, come on, internet. Australia are always on the back burner with the internet. So yeah, okay. The object's back here again. It's of interest. And I'm not sure if that's me trying to render in or if it's the actual camera trying to render it in. So that's probably a little bit of an example of what I guess those flashes of those oh no, that's moving. Oh, okay, there we go. That's interesting. That could possibly be, well, it depends on what speed. Like, what's the time? Okay, no, that's normal time going by the clock here up here. I was going to say, is it a comet if it was, but it's too slow? And is that slowing down? And it's kind of stopping. That is interesting. And of course, it's going to go to frame or it's going to come back. How long have we got left on this video? No, that's about it. So if that comes back, that's going to be pretty cool. But it's just the don't you start trying to do that nonsense. Anyway, get rid of that. So that was actually quite interesting. It sort of had a bit of a tail. It sort of like maybe it was possibly going through the atmosphere or re-entry, basically. So it could have been a re-entry, but it sort of looked like it was starting to slow down. So I'm not really sure what was going on there. But it's interesting. So this is the sort of stuff that we need. Some of this, as observing the skies 24/7, and to really pick up what we've got in these skies that's going flying around. Because there's some interesting stuff out there, and obviously, yeah, like I was saying before, people are seeing these things. Going back through the comments there, got that. Chris was saying Philadelphia experiment, that kind of technology. Maybe I'm not really aware of that one either. Or do I? Is that the guys that are going around with the multiple cameras on this big stick and tripod and trying to capture things with different types of cameras? That's one. If that might be the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, again, look, it just depends on what they're capturing on. Like, it's when people try to claim, like, just a light going across the sky. Like, that could very well possibly be a satellite, and then they try to go and say, "Hey, we're capturing UFOs," just to try and get the crowd content. That's they're getting the clicks and they're getting the viewers and trying to get the interest there on it. That to me annoys me. You need to go and show if you're out there trying to show genuine UFOs, you need to have something that's like something in the sky that's goes across the sky, stops, and then changes direction, goes a different direction. Not something that just fades out of the sky or a satellite light and just a speck in the sky. That annoys me when people try to claim something a UFO that's not really giving any real, you know, under undeniable capabilities in our aspects. Anonymous is back with maybe we've got a fraction of their brain capabilities and they can manipulate our own consciousness. Well, that's another thing too. Like it could be their technology that's sort of wiping our mind to manipulate, or they have some sort of psychological edge against us. Where they can sort of manipulate our brains. Because I've heard stories there where I'm sure a lot of you have heard the stories too. Like one story that I'm really interested in on this one here, where I heard is this guy's out on a farm, right? He's like, oh, I need to go check out somewhere down near the farm. He's going down towards where his dam is, go and check on the animals or whatever. And as he's walking down the track there to get down to the dam there, he's getting this real heavy feeling of like a sort of like a fear, something like real, even that sense there where he's like, okay, this is something's not right here. I need to get away from here. Something's really like telling me to get away from here this here because something's not right. And so he's got the fear coming through him, and he's like, "What?" But like every step he takes, it gets stronger and stronger, and something's telling him to like turn around, go the other way, do not come down here. And so obviously he's gone back, and he's like, "No, I can't go in there because like obviously the fear has absolutely overwhelmed him." And he's like, "No, I can't go. I got to turn back and went back up home." And you know, then as the further it got away, the feeling went away. So it's like, yeah, what the hell? Um, I see that comes up. No, you still come as sure. I'm showing you up on the video here because damn it, I'm making noise. That's what you look like on my end. So yeah, then the next day he went back down there. He didn't have any other sense of fear or dread of going down there. But he obviously had a look around the dam and that. But he could see like a few impressions there, like round impressions in the grass, as if something's like um been on top of it. And it was in this spiral effect, like you saw, like your common sort of what do you call it? Crop circle in a sense. But obviously, yeah, it's killed the grass underneath it and left this big impression on the grass, and it's in a swirling sort of effect. So yeah, obviously that's raised an interest, and then he's obviously reported onto one of the stories I've heard. To go back to Hell House, yeah, sorry, yeah, so yeah, can they manipulate our consciousness? Yeah, absolutely. I still feel like they have. They can control our consciousness, our feelings and emotions. In that regard, they can take advantage of whatever they can do with this to take control of the situation, which is another scary aspect of it. Going back to Hell House here, thanks Anthony, the costs are a bit high through between $1,500 to $5,000. Crowdfunding seems to be the go for these things. Yeah, so again, that's one of those things there where if I was to go and really look into it, to go and set up one of these cameras here somewhere and sort of have it going, it's again, it's going to be one of those crowdfunding things there. I can't afford it, unfortunately. I'd love to go and sort of be able to do this for you, but again, I'm not going to be asking you for money on it. It's just I just don't feel it's fair. But it's yeah, again, yeah. Going back to anonymous there. Damn it, I hate being anonymous. I must have done something when I joined the group. I'll fix it later. That's all good. Now, look, I'm not sure. It depends on if anyone else on my Facebook there can sort of comment. Give us a comment there if to the other users there on Facebook there if you can give us a bit of a tickle on there. I guess to make sure it's not just a Facebook glitch going through there or a StreamYard thing going on. For some reason, it's covering his up. Unless you're watching through the Australian UFO sightings page, maybe and you're commenting, it could be because the group's private. So it depends on where you're watching it from. That's just an idea I'm pulling at the top of my head there. So if you jump on the encounters down on the Facebook page itself, you'll probably come up as non-anonymous, maybe. But if you are watching through the Australian UFO sightings page there, where it's getting streamed to, you might be coming as anonymous for that reason because of private group, which would be interesting to find out. So yeah, if I can get some people that are on the Facebook users there to go and let us know where you're watching it from, which streaming through. But yeah, look, where we want to go next, guys. I'll put probably about 10 minutes on there before we go on. Before we go and finish up, it's been. I'm actually surprised at myself. I've actually gone for this long, and yeah, geez, I think it's the longest I've ever talked. It's fantastic. It's a great practice for me. Um, Chris has come through there. The Philadelphia experiment ship that disappears. Oh, I will definitely look that up, mate. That's something of interest there. But yeah, guys, look, get in the comments. What do you want to expect from the show? What would you like to see? I'm open to all ideas. Who would you like to see on the podcast here? Like I mentioned, I'm hoping to get Shane Ryan on here with regards to the Westall experience encounters. I'm hoping to get him on the show there during the season. Also, we're going to get Mary Rodwell on here as well. I'm going to look into getting a Damien Knott on there as well. Obviously, there's all hope to get these people on there. These people are busy, got lives and that, whether they're interested or not. Hoping to get them on there, because I want their opinions, their thoughts, and their experiences and whatnot. Because that's where the credibility is. I feel in this whole thing. People's experiences, their encounters, their point of view, their perspectives. That's the interesting part. But yeah, I just want to get your opinions on the show, where we want to go with it. I've got a few ideas there. Like I said, I want to go and maybe start looking out there, doing a few expeditions. I did the Lake Monduran UFO expedition there. We've got a few of us out there, which is absolutely a great event there. If you haven't listened to the podcast on that one, I did a quick little episode where I talked again. It was quite good. Just recollecting the whole event on the Lake Monduran, which is a good episode there. We did see something interesting out there. Whether it was a satellite or not, don't know. No, you're not. Hey, Chris, there we go. Chris, not anonymous anymore. What's your your feed there? Where were you watching from? I'm curious on that one. Is this through in Canada and Under podcast page now, or is this through the off-horse page that you were with before? So give us an idea where you're watching from, mate. So I'm curious as to where you got that feed from. But otherwise, yeah. Look, guys, I'll probably just go and recommend some places. Some of my sort of feeds that I go through when it comes to my comments. For the content I go through. Yeah, you're right. So if you come up anonymous, if you're watching through the Australian UFO sightings page, right? Oh, there we go. Coming from Trooper there, doing a good job. Aussie view on this is so needed. I appreciate it, man. Look, there's not much comment there, and content there in regards to Australian content there, but there's a fair few coming out now, which is great. And everyone's doing a great job in their own regard and how they want to do things and that. Obviously, there's a lot more knowledgeable people that get a lot deeper into this whole topic than me. But yeah, obviously, wherever you find your content there, guys, yeah, make sure you share that out there because yeah, the more the merrier. Because Australia doesn't get its involvement in UFOs. We need more into it. Where are you actually watching from there, Trooper? I'd love to know where you're watching from, mate. And Chris is saying the Australian one that you said, yeah, Australian UFO sightings page. Yep, righto, mate. Cheers for that. So, yep, righto. We've got that narrowed down. Haha. So you're going to what I was going to say, like the few bit of the content that I sort of get my sort of info from. If you're unaware of Post Disclosure World, you got UFO Jesus there. He goes in deep with the UFO sort of things with the US there, DoD, and all sorts of stuff. Gets some good content out there. He does a great job, which is great. Quite knowledgeable guy there. He gets very passionate about what he does. He gets some moments there where he gets very frustrated there talking about it, like I do. Like we want the credible evidence and such. We want disclosure. We want hard down evidence. We want people to be taken accounted for when they talk about their encounters and experiences. We don't want this whole stigma that's still attached to the whole damn thing. So Post Disclosure World is one of them ones I get into. Podcast UFO with Martin Willis. He's good. He gets his few guests on the show there with some credible encounters there. I used to get right into what was that bloody show called now? The Rojas Report. Alejandro Rojas. He, a few years ago, he had a podcast there. I'm trying to think what that was bloody called now too. That was a great show. They showed a lot of. They went through things. They kept things credible, down to earth, instead of trying to go through speculations and whatnot. That was a good episode. I don't know where they've gone now. I don't know why they've stopped. There was no real information on why they stopped their podcast. But otherwise, yeah, that was a good show. You can still get them on there on Spotify and the iTunes, and I think they're still on there. And another one's obviously the Black Vault there with John Greenwald. Does a fantastic job there with his. He's attacking the DoD, trying to get freedom of information, all sorts of stuff, trying to get evidence released of the reports and such from military side of things in the US, which we sort of need more of this sort of stuff on the Australian side of things, so we can get more Australian evidence out there. Another one there is Grant Levac. Go and check him out there. He's doing his part there, trying to attack, our Australian government representatives there, trying to make sure get them on the same page as well as like trying to attack the government there and say, look, this needs to be a topic, make it a thing. And unfortunately, typical Australia, we don't care. No one wants to go and risk their careers and talking about a UFO phenomenon that might not even be real. So, no one in the US, the Australian government wants to really give any sort of interest in back it up. But yeah, I had Grant on the show there a few times there now. He's done a fantastic job there, what he's doing. You can follow his content there, so you can so you know how you can go and get into your local representatives there, so you can try and hopefully get in touch with them and show your interest in the encouraging them into pushing the UFO topic into the Australian government. Another one there is obviously got Need to Know with Ross Coulthard and Zabel. Bryce Zabel. They're pretty good. They Coulthard's pretty passionate about what he does here. It's good to actually have someone who's in the media itself, as a reporter, they're risking his career there and really pushing for the whole UFO topic, which is great because we need more Australian hierarchies, or not hierarchies, but high regarded people in the community that sort of really help push this through. So, but not to say that we need to rely on them. It's just we need to rely on more of the public to go and to really start pushing for this. And so I've got an idea. One of the ideas I want to do is I'm going to look at organising a protest. I sort of feel like we need to sort of get together a bit strongly. I'm going to try and organise this around. It's going to be very hard to sort of organise because I need people from all around the states and cities to really sort of get together there and organise their events. And I sort of feel like we need to really protest hard and start like going, look, Australia needs to go and take this seriously. We want the truth. We want the evidence, and really sort of get this out there. Like, I sort of feel like it needs to be a worldwide thing, but I sort of feel like if we push this in Australia, we'll hopefully get Australia to really sort of knuckle down a bit more and take it seriously that the public wants to know and deserves to know and should know, because they're public servants to us. Then that's, to me, is should be local knowledge for us. That's freedom of information right there for us in that sort of regard. So, guys, if you sort of on the page with me there to go and sort of feel like we should need to do a bit of a protest, let's get into it. Let's do it and really push out our point there. We've got our entitlements there. We have a right to know what's out in our skies, whether it be, the adversaries or something unknown. They've got some idea what's going on. So I sort of feel like, we need to push and make it more public knowledge in Australia. Get Australia down on the on this whole topic. So Hell has in the comments there. Thank you for your show, Anthony. All the best in your future endeavours. We'll be recommending you to our Perth UFO group. Please let us know if you ever come over to WA. Look, I've got really no need to go over there, but it depends on where this sort of career takes me on this sort of page, sort of stuff. If I get invited over for whatever reasons, absolutely, I'm probably willing to go and travel around if work and life sort of allows it. So I'm happy to go and come over and have a chat, whoever. Sounds great. But yeah, look, guys, geez, I talked non-stop here for 2 hours. Jesus crikeys, I've never thought I could do that. But yeah, look, guys, unfortunately, no one's wanted to come and join me for a bit of a talk show chat. I hope I'll get a bit more organised with next time for a bit of a talkback show and try and get these a bit more organised and get it down pat. But if you guys know of how to do these talk show things here, send us a bit of help so I can get this thing working. But otherwise, look, guys, I think that'll do us for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and getting the comments there. Absolutely fantastic having you on here. Look, I absolutely love the support here that you guys are doing for me, and I'll look into these things in the future there to go and keep bringing you some great content there. And good, guys, can't appreciate you enough. Helping support the page. So keep going what you're doing. Share the page out wherever you feel. Invite your friends to the page. If you know someone who's had an encounter who might want to share their experience there, please, by all means, send them my way. I'd love to have them on the podcast. And guys, welcome to season 4 of the podcast. I wasn't really expecting to get this far with it, but it's great. Really happy we got this far, and I look forward to doing more content with you guys. It's really good. But yeah, by all means, guys, again, thank you so much for coming on. I can't thank you enough. I think I'll leave it there. If you want to go and show your support to the show in your own way there, like we do have some online content that gets them to get your own little shirts and bumper stickers and stuff like that. We've got the online store there, which is in the contents there. Just that's up to you. I don't make any profits from the online store either. That's that the lowest price they can do to sort of cover the cost of what they want to provide, because print to purchase. So unfortunately, I can't do much on the prices there, guys. That's the best I got. And yeah, again, I don't make any profits, and there's nothing. Like I said, I'm not against the making profits off this, but it's just not something I want to do. It's not my interest. But yeah, so yeah, guys, yeah, keep your eyes to the skies there, and try and keep your heads out of the old YouTube and TikToks as best you can, I guess. As Chris is saying in the content there, cheers, guys. Look up, not down too much at the iPhones. Yeah. Again, yeah, okay, guys, I'm gonna shut up now. Leave us to it. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Oh yeah, actually, before I do that, yeah, so live streams every second week. It will be, so it'll be on Monday. Just keep an eye on the page. I'll post it up on the page when we're going to be doing the next one. So all the best, guys. I'll talk to you soon, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. All right, see you guys. I'm out. I'm gonna go get myself a drink. I'm dying of thirst here. Get a dry mouth. Woohoo! All right, see you guys. Bye. And that will do it, folks, for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the show. And don't forget, if you or someone you know has had an encounter, to please get in touch with me to be featured on the podcast. If you're a fan of the show, you can support the podcast by purchasing some awesome merchandise that's available on our online store via the link provided in the episode description. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Encounter Down Under. Hooroo!